back here on the Rich Eisen Show in a Monday spot because we knew there'd be so much to talk about as Fox Sports and multiple Super Bowl champion, three-time champ, ladies and gentlemen, Denver Bronco great Mark Schlereth. Good to see you, Mark. How are you, brother?
Doing great. I am doing great. How are you, Rich?
Your best guess on Sean Payton, what he's doing right now, Mark?
Working, grinding, looking at, it's interesting. I asked Sean this several years ago when I started calling games. I said, hey, man, I just want to pick your brain and just about game planning and how you go about executing a game plan and all those things. He said, as a young coach, oftentimes I would see a weakness of the defense and I just want to attack that weakness. I just want to go after that weakness, damn the consequences. And he goes, as you mature as a coach, you look at a weakness of a team, a defense, and you say, hey, man, I'm going to attack that only if it doesn't expose a weakness on my team. And so my first responsibility is to mitigate my own weaknesses. My second responsibility is to attack the weaknesses of the defense. And so in regards to Jarrett Stidham, he is going to put Jarrett Stidham in a position to win football games. And you look at what he did with Teddy Bridgewater when Teddy Bridgewater started 5 games in place of Drew Brees, and then also looking to when he had Jameis Winston as a starting quarterback. And, we talked about that 30 interceptions, 39 total turnovers, the 30 TD season. And Sean was just like, man, I will never put Jameis Winston in a position to throw 30 interceptions because, I understand what that's going to do to us. So he is grinding right now to put Jarrett Stidham in a position to accentuate his strengths and to mitigate some of his weaknesses and put them in the best position to win a football game. That's what he's doing.
And I thought what he said, watch out, when he said yesterday, when he went back to the podium to say that Bo Nix was out and that Stidham's going to be ready, watch this, watch out, essentially, that he was talking to Stidham in the locker room through the media. Yes, no, Mark?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, first off, he went out and got Stidham, paid Stidham, redid their contract. This is a guy that he has believed in. This is a guy that he wanted as that backup to Bo Nix, a guy that he has believed in for quite some time. And so, they've got 3 years together in this offense. And I will tell you, and I know it's only training camp, right? And I know it's preseason, and the preseason games notwithstanding, because the preseason games, as we all know, are fairly vanilla and you're trying to manage guys and not get anybody hurt. But in those joint practices, Stiddy was awesome. And that's where the majority of the work gets done in today's NFL is you get these joint practices. They had one, I think, against San Francisco, in San Fran. They had one against Arizona here in Denver. I was at that one. And Stiddy played exceptionally well and probably played better than Bo Nix in the preseason and in that kind of competitive environment. So obviously he's probably not the scrambler athlete that Bo Nix is, but Stidham he's a good player. There's no question.
Well, I mean, you need him to be great. This is the AFC Championship game, and the Patriots have a quarterback who's playing great. Obviously Drake May having some fumbleitis that the Patriots have been able to get through because May also makes throws like the one to Diggs for a touchdown and certainly the one to Keyshawn Boutte over Derek Stingley Jr. to make the plays. And the defense has been balling out. So what do you think Stidham's going to look like against this Patriots defense, having seen what they did to C.J. Stroud on Sunday, Mark?
Yeah, I think Stidham, he'll be okay. The thing that really gets kind of caught in the wash is this Broncos team has been based upon this great defense under Vance Joseph. I thought this defense got out schemed, they got outplayed, they got out executed, they got out physical, if you will. And ultimately, we sit there and say nationally, oh, Josh Allen, and we see that McDermott gets fired and all this stuff, but I thought Josh Allen played one of his worst football games. He missed 3 or 4 touchdown passes in that game. That game, they could have hung 50 on Denver's defense. They didn't have a plan to stop Cook. The running back just ran roughshod through them at, I don't know what it was, 6-7 yards a carry. They never really adjusted on the pitch play. And I thought they did a phenomenal job of they controlled and they dealt with the crowd noise in Denver. And I was at the stadium, man, and it was, I mean, you want to talk about loud and obnoxious. It was incredible what the Denver Broncos, Broncos country did. But I thought the Buffalo Bills offense handled that crowd noise better than the Broncos defense. I thought the Broncos defense gave up multiple plays and made multiple mistakes from a communication standpoint that could have been the difference in that game. And ultimately, like I said, I thought Josh Allen missed a couple of wide open touchdown passes, had a couple of balls picked that were, to me, were bad throws. So, or at least one was a bad throw. He had, I can't remember who it was, but it was PJ Locke that intercepted the ball. And I was standing with Peyton Manning in Peyton's suite, and he goes, "Man, you just got to throw that to the corner of the end zone. That's a touchdown every time." And so there was just different situations in that game where Josh just didn't play his best. I understand why he was emotional at the podium, because he just really played, for Josh Allen standards, a poor football game.
So what do you think's happening in his skull right now that Sean McDermott's out of a job? What do you think of all that, Mark?
Yeah, well, as you know, it's a results-based business, and if you don't win in those situations, and the national narrative was, "Hey, man, there is no, Lamar Jackson, there is no Mahomes, there is no Joe Burrow. This is your chance to skate right to, the Super Bowl and get your team to the Super Bowl." And it's a results-based business. And I thought the most egregious call of the game was, you get 16 seconds left in the second quarter. You take a knee. I'm sitting there at the stadium going, just take a knee, go in the locker room, regroup. And I tend to be more conservative, but I'm like, that's how you operate. And then all of a sudden he drops back, scrambles around, fumbles the football, and you give the Broncos an extra 3 points right there with, 2-3 seconds left. I just thought that was an egregious call by Sean McDermott, and that was not managing the game. And I think one of the big things for Sean, and one of the reasons you're no longer employed, is because oftentimes you get these playoff games and it's almost like we've got Superman as our quarterback. Just put it on him. Go do this. And that's a coaching decision, man. The quarterback doesn't get to make that play. You say, kneel on it. Let's get in the locker room and be down by 7 instead of going down by 10.
Interesting. Some fans would think it's a roster move because that's what the Bills have to do. That Allen's got to do it mostly by himself, even though Cook had a heck of a day, man. And that's part and parcel, as you pointed out, about that the Broncos defense was ridden quite a bit by the Buffalo Bills, which is another reason why, you're wondering why let the coach go. I mean, it was just this, that, the other. You could be in the AFC Championship game going to New England right now, Mark.
Yeah, no question about it. But you look on the other side of that, you shut down the run. I mean, Bo Nix was the leading rusher for the Broncos. You shut down the run. They lost not one, but 2 receivers. Pat Bryant was on his way. He had 3 catches in the first 4 plays. He was on his way. He gets a concussion. Troy Franken pulls his hammy, and you let Mims beat you. And oh, by the way, in that game, Cortland Sutton, your most reliable target, dropped a bunch of balls. So like that, there was a lot of reason to sit there and go, man, you are in charge of that defense. You're a defensive coach. And ultimately, Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos, who were hamstrung on the offensive side of the ball, hung 30 on you. I understand, like I said, it's a results-based business. And, whether you're coaching or playing, and I think we've all been there, you spend enough time in this league, they'll let you know that, hey, you're not doing good enough. And I've been part of that conversation when I was in Washington, and Norv Turner told me, "Hey, man, we don't think you can play anymore." And I remind Norv Turner every time I see him that he cut me, or no, that he didn't re-sign me and let me go into free agency. And he gave me the opportunity to go back-to-back championships and play another 6 years. So thanks, Norv. Love you, buddy.
Mark Schlereth here on the Rich Eisen Show. I gave Mike McDonald the kudos. What a great coaching move when your quarterback might not be able to throw, to just have your kickoff return man start the game with a touchdown. Brilliant move. Excellent execution on the game plan. And it started a boat race. Seattle had enough points in 13 seconds that they needed on all night because that defense is a wagon. Are they the favorites to win the Super Bowl right now, based on everything? Would you say?
Yeah, I think they've got to be. And boy, I tell you what, Rich, I got vibes. I've got Legion of Boom vibes with the ability to, like, they are incredible from the standpoint of they play a lot of, a lot of zone match type of defense. And one thing that just blows me away about them is plays where you dump a ball off to a Christian McCaffrey or to a Tonjes or whoever, and you think, man, I'm going to dump this ball off. Christian's going to spin inside and it's going to go, he's going to get an extra 3 or 4 yards and it's going to be 2nd down and 3. And as soon as you throw that ball, man, they are on it as a defense. They're not missing tackles. You're getting zero leaky yardage against that defense. And now all of a sudden you think you're going to be in 2nd and 3 and you're in 2nd and 7. You're behind the chains. You're like, oh, shoot, here we go again. I thought Witherspoon was phenomenal. I just think that whole defensive back end from the linebacking core to the safeties and the cornerbacks all tackled exceptionally well. And here's one thing a coach told me years ago that always resonates with me. And it resonated with me. I had these visions of Super Bowl 48 when the Seahawks just absolutely bludgeoned my Broncos in the Super Bowl. And this coach said, watch special teams. Watch the depth that teams have on special teams and how they cover kicks and how aggressive they are. And I just watched Seattle open a can of whoop ass in the special teams department against the 49ers. They're just out hitting people. And it just goes to show you, like, that's the kind of depth you have when you watch special teams units just overwhelm the opponent. It points to the depth you have, especially on the defensive side of the ball, because most of those defensive players play the special teams units, especially the coverage units. So I just thought that defense and the way they played special teams and the way they ran the ball was special against the Niners.
Well, if they make the Super Bowl, they will have earned it, Mark, because not only do they win a division that has 3 12-win teams in it, right, but they would also have had to have beaten the Niners and the Rams twice in order to make the Super Bowl, with the last 2 times being in playoff games, win or go home. So they will have earned it, because the Rams will be coming in feeling great about what just happened. Winning in Chicago, stopping somehow Caleb Williams from his 8th game, come from behind win of the season, absorbing maybe the throw of the year, which is kind of, you might have to remove maybe the way Caleb forced overtime. I give you the floor on that game in general, Mark.
Yeah, I think some of the things that concern me about Sean McVay, and I know if you get the Oda McVay on you, you get a chance to be a coaching job. But Lord have mercy, you're just forgetfulness to run the ball when you are exceptional at it. I think your O-line has been built that way. I think you run those 12 and 13 personnel packages. Nakua will absolutely hit people. Like at times in that game, I'm just like screaming at the television, just run the freaking football. Like Kyron Williams is getting 5, 8, 6 yards of crack. Just run the damn ball. And you're going 3 and out with 3 straight passes. Like stuff like that drives me crazy. I think the other takeaway for me is, at what point are we going to start kicking field goals again? Like at what point is that going to become the in vogue thing to do?
Never.
Because I look at that game and going, if you just kick field goals on 4th down when you're down, and like every time you reach the 30, I'm going, oh, here we are in the bypass field goal territory again.
I'm with you, Mark. But then you read about that the first two times the Bears went for it on 4th down, they come away with 7 total points, which is 1 more than the 6 total points if they just went ahead and kicked the field goals. And so that's the analytics pushback, is that even though you're 1 for 2, you got 7. And if you said, screw it, I'm just going to go for field goals, you have 6. You actually emerged with 1 more point than playing for just the points that you're talking about, Mark.
Yeah, I get that, but I will also tell you from my perspective, here's where math, and I say this all the time, math has never made a tackle. It's never blocked anybody. And you have the analytics over the course of a year, right? But all of a sudden you've got weather. All of a sudden you've got a hard, slick ball. You got a quarterback both quarterbacks had jammed up fingers, right? Caleb Williams jammed his finger in the first series, I believe,
Right.
and Matthew Stafford came in with a sprained finger. And both guys had some errant throws. And like I just think points are a premium. And the one thing that analytics don't do for you is they don't assess the game situation, the weather, the field conditions a lot. It's just a lot of numbers. And at times, man, I just look at it like, man, playoff game premium, take points, get yourself points, and we'll figure it out at the end if we have to go for it. But I get it. I get where the numbers come in. I just completely disagree with them wholeheartedly. I know one thing. Analytics has never blocked a 3 technique like Warren Sapp, who's breathing down your neck. I know that. So that's where I am with analytics.
Stinkin Truth podcast with Mark Schlereth. But the Rams have all the weaponry, and defensively, last night they stiffened up in a way that we haven't seen since weeks 1 through 12, which leads me to believe that this is going to be a dynamite NFC Championship game. And just before we move on to the predicting of Super Bowl 60 from you, Mark, and as to who's making it, Caleb Williams, right? Like there's no question that there was a box checked by the Chicago Bears. Ben's the right guy as the coach, and Caleb's the right guy to connect to him, and vice versa, right?
Yeah,
No doubt.
I don't think there's any question.
Right.
Caleb's ability, he's only going to get better. In normal downs, he's only going to get better. Like off schedule, like that's where he's exceptional. That pass, the most ridiculous.
Crazy.
I'm screaming at the television. You're
Yeah.
giving up 25 yards. I'm going, come on, dude, you can't do that. Oh, yeah, but touchdown, perfect. Like that's exactly how we planned it. It was remarkable. And so off schedule, I think the guy's as good as it gets in this league. He's athletic, unbelievable arm talent, all those things. And he just gets better and better and better on schedule. And he's just going to continue to get, and I know that's what Ben Johnson, I've talked to Ben Johnson, that's what they've worked on. He's getting better in that aspect of football. And that's part and parcel of playing college football, where, you can just like you play at USC, our players are probably better than your players 9 out of 11 games that we play. And so I'll just hold on to the ball and make something happen. And that's not the NFL. That's not how it's structured. Everybody gets to draft and everybody gets to put their team together. So he'll just continue to get better in that phase. That's where he lacked coming in. He got a lot better over the course of the season, a lot better from year to year. He looks the part. He looks special. There's no question.
No doubt about it. Mark Schlereth, who makes Super Bowl 60 at the end of the day on Sunday?
Well, you know what? I go into this thing knowing that Stidham's going to have to play. This defense has to play a lot better in Denver. I think this is going to be a really tight game. I'm hoping that Denver continues to be the kryptonite for the New England Patriots. They're 0-4 here lifetime when they have to play a playoff game. I'm banking on Sean Payton. I'm banking on this Denver defense to rebound. I'm taking Denver with trepidation. And then in the NFC Championship, I just think Seattle, their defense is so good, their ability to run the ball. I'm going to take Seattle to win the NFC Championship. It'll be Denver, Seattle, a rematch of Super Bowl 48, I believe.
All right. And I'm sure you won't bring that up to the person who might host you for the AFC Championship game in his suite, Mark, at the end of the day. I imagine I caught that. Yeah. We all caught that name drop, that suite drop. What's the catering like in Peyton's suite for a game?
It's tremendous. It is. Yeah, it's absolutely tremendous. And what's really fun? You always kind of look at the game through the lens that you played it, Rich, so it's where you tend to focus. And sitting with Peyton,
you get your own Manning cast. You get your own Manning cast.
Yeah, you're just like sitting there watching him, like, oh, they're in cover 2 man right here. I go to this guy, like you're just like, dude, I wish I could see it that fast. Like I can figure out what the coverage is when I rewind it 6 times, on the coach's tape, but not when I'm standing there watching them snap the football. So he's remarkable. Really cool just to be able to pick his brain during the football game. It was a lot of fun, man. I had a blast.
What's the catering? what do we got?
I mean, I didn't eat
cheeses?
anything while I was in there because I wanted to invite back. Like, I didn't want to like be just housing food in there.
Smart.
But they had prime rib, they had drinks, they had they had everything.
Dessert cart, little dessert cart.
Oh, dessert cart, no question about it. I mean, it was well done. Well done.
Mark Schlereth, everybody. Thanks for the time, bud. We'll have you on next week as always. Thanks, sir.
Sounds good, buddy. Take care.
Stinkin Truth podcast with Mark Schlereth. Everybody check it out. And obviously, we greatly appreciate Mark's friendship here on the Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.